All right, through all of this abuse, all of these years of this, there are people who were aware of what was going on and just never came forward. Sure, you can go back and you can see how some of these people that I'm no longer friends with, right after Natalie died, they were in all sorts of Natalie groups, typing all sorts of stuff there. But did they show up in court? No, they didn't. Did they ever make a police report about what they knew? No, they didn't. And then when I told the truth, they didn't like it. All of these people who said that they respected me because I'm honest. People love when you're honest until you're honest about them. I'm fine with people being honest about me. If you're going to tell people I'm an asshole, that's fine. I am an asshole. Why don't you try telling them why? Why am I an asshole? Let me tell you something about cowards. Cowards will watch you get killed. Cowards will watch you get raped. That's what cowards do. Many of these people who knew me, who promised to help me any way that they could, there's a lot of ways they could have helped me. For starters, speaking the fuck up. Taking the time to find out what the hell's going on. I wasted so much time on people who said that they wanted to help, and then here I am texting them back and forth for months at a time. Like, what the fuck, dude? It doesn't take months to do this shit. If you know something and you say that you're going to come forward and I'm wasting my time on you, I cannot get that time back. Then there's the fact that I have been abused over narratives that are not true. And I can prove that they're not true, but I have no fucking help doing that. I just downloaded a video, or actually, I guess it's mostly audio, of a conversation that I had yesterday. There's all of these things that people say that I deserve this because of, things that I didn't do and was never allowed to defend myself against. Now I have to worry about the general public harming me for things that I didn't do. And when you guys talk about how people forgot about it, it was a long time ago. No, the fuck it wasn't. Not for my enemies. Not for the people who fucking hate me because they were fucking lied to. Chapel, Nebraska sucks. It is a shithole of a fucking town. People here are shitty to each other for a living. They're also cowards. People who are already involved saying, I don't want to get involved. Motherfucker, you're already involved. You are already involved. But then again, I have a penis, so the rules are different for me. I saw a post today where, and of course, it was a sexist post, and it had on there, what was it? Name one woman that has, gone without needing a man, so on a man's money or some crap like that. And pretty soon there's 400 women who have commented on it in just a few hours, saying, I've done it all by myself my whole life. There was a woman I knew quite a few years ago named Becky. And Becky got together with a guy named Tom. Becky already had a couple of kids when she got together with Tom. Now, she never got a job. The closest that she ever had to a job was Tom paying $10,000 for a bunch of crafting materials that she literally didn't do anything with. Now she's got these 2 kids. She's with Tom. You'd think, well, she's being a mother. No, she wasn't. Tom paid for childcare. He had a good job. He paid for childcare during the day. When they weren't at school, they were at the daycare center. Then afterwards, his wife, I guess they were never technically married, but they had a kid together and they lived together. So it's common law. Anyway, the situation was that she wanted to go out with her girlfriends every night and get drunk. And they had a female babysitter. So she come home drunk one night and accused him of cheating on her with the babysitter. So he fired the female babysitter and got a male babysitter. So now it should be fine, right? You'd think. Well, then they have a kid together. And he found out recently, mind you, this kid is like 11 years old now. Tom finds out just recently that it's not even his kid. He's been broken up with this woman for over a decade. Now, she gets together with another guy after him, and it's the same thing. He's paying for everything. You know, Tom had bought her a vehicle. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure she still has that vehicle that he bought over a decade ago. So at least she's taking good care of the vehicle. But he bought that for her. When he broke up with her, he was done with her. He didn't ask for the vehicle back. He didn't ask for nothing out of her. But then when that post pops up, I noticed that there was a face that looked kind of familiar. Now it's a little teeny tiny picture, but I recognize the name Becky. And I click on it, and sure enough, it's her. And she's claiming that she has been a single mom taking care of her and her kids by herself without a man's help since she turned 18. Well, that is definitely not true. I'm willing to bet most of the women who posted that up there are full of shit. Just like most of the men who would post such a thing would also be full of shit. You work together, you get nothing. When somebody is alone, they don't get jack shit. You can have all the so-called friends in the world, but if they're all cowards and you have something that needs to be dealt with, they're not going to do shit. They're going to give you pretty words and excuses. So, despite the fact that you think you have 100 friends, you really don't have any. It's just you. There are 14 women's services in Boulder, Colorado for every co-ed service. That's one service that's for men and women. 14 of them. And most of the women that I knew while I was homeless, they didn't need to go to those services. They had people giving them free stuff all the time. People busting their ass for them all the time. And not all of them were dudes that had a crush on them, were like, oh, well, you know, if I do this, then she owes me this. No. The homeless community is a pretty tight-knit community, especially with the home bums. Travelers, yeah, you probably have to worry about them stealing your shit. The alcoholics and the drug addicts, yeah, you probably got to worry about them stealing your shit. But a home bum, man, he's made that his home. He lives there by reputation. If you got a bad reputation, people are not going to be nice to you. They're not going to be kind to you, and you are not going to feel at home. There's a lot of guys I know recently finding out their kids aren't theirs. And what are these men doing? These women they're with are alcoholics and drug addicts. You know what they're out doing. What are these men doing? They're still taking care of kids that aren't theirs. They're still doing everything they can for kids that aren't even theirs. We're not talking about stepdads. We're talking about used to be stepdad. Mom moved on. Mom got busted with meth in the house and dad kicked her ass out. Or mom got drunk and got busted having sex with somebody and left condoms all over the living room. Yeah, that's definitely something that a man wants to walk home to. Is that something that a woman wants to walk home to? I'm trying to make the point here that just because our society teaches us to only think about ourselves and only look at ourselves as if we're the only ones that matter. No, these are other human lives that you're interacting with. For Tom, that was 3 years of his life that he can't get back. And then there's all of the expenses of taking care of kids that weren't even his, still aren't his. And he's still paying for them. He's still doing everything that he can to make sure that those kids have something other than just the druggy life that their mom has. Then we got all these moms that claim that their kids